Hello friends, I welcome you again in my YouTube channel and I brought a new video for you, crop protection and management chapter, which is from class 8. Are you wondering from where the voice is coming? Okay, so I'm here. Okay, so yes, we have tasted so many recipes, so many food items. We love to go to try new things. We visit to restaurants, to new places. Have we ever thought from where this food, from where the raw materials which is required to make food, we are getting from? Yes. So farmers are our friends, which make this possible, which who does a farmer does a lot of hard work and make it possible so that we can get food at our home. So today we will learn how a farmer follows steps, what tools or what other techniques they are using to make the crop better and to increase the yield. So let's start now. Now food which we are taking, which we eat. So that food, why we require food? We all know that we require food so that we can get energy for growth, for development, to get energy to do our all the activities which we do. We study, we play, we help our family, etc, etc, etc. So for all these things, yes, we require food. Now, in early time, what happened? You know that the human was involved in hunting the animals or just taking the, you can say, raw material from trees and all. You can say the human was living in forest and all. But slowly, the humans start learning how to cultivate crops also. And this revolution makes their life more settled and productive. They become more independent and more civilized. So the agriculture, what is agriculture? Agriculture is not only involving the production of plants, but it is also involving to take care of animals which are useful to humans. Like we have you can say number of example, like if we say cow, buffalo to get milk, bees to get honey, you can say hen to get eggs, etc, etc. So agriculture means when we are producing food on a large scale from plants and animals which are useful to human, that is what you mean to agriculture. Crops, yes, crops are such kind of plants which are grown, which are cultivating. The farmers, as you can see in the picture as well, the farmers, they are growing, they are cultivating so many plants together on large scale, and you can say plants, they should be of same kind. They should be of same kind and which are grown and cultivated on the large scale on field. That, what do you call that as? Crop. Now the crop, for example, you must have visited to village a few days back. I visited to village and I enjoyed a lot. I have seen different crops and all, like wheat, rice, and you can say barley and maize. So it was loving, you can say, reason to watch, and you can say nature and all, which we are not able to see in our town, in you can say in urban areas and all. So I have seen, you can say, huge size of fields and all, where the same kind of plants were grown, they were cultivated, and the farmers were working on, and you can say on those fields. So that what is done on large scale, that you call what? Crops. Now, crops, we have categorized crops depends on season into two forms, into two types. The first, kharif crops. The second one is the rabi crops. Kharif crops, which are also, you can say, call them as monsoon crops or rainy crops, also you may call them. So these are the crops. Why we are calling them monsoon crops? Because they are grown during the rainy season, or you can say from June to October month. In those months, we used to grow such crops, and these are known as kharif crop, or you may also call them monsoon crop. Example, as you can see on the screen over here: rice, corn, soybean, sugarcane, coconut, and groundnut. So these are the examples of kharif crop. On the other hand, if you see rabi crops, they are called as winter crops, obviously because we are growing these crops in winter season, and that is, you can say, in October or November, or you may say December as well. So these are the, you can say, that months in which we grow such crops, and that's why they are called as rabi crops. Example: wheat, oat, chickpea, mustard, broccoli, and you have almond. So these are the example of rabi crop. Okay, now after seeing the different types of crops and all examples and all, to grow a crop in effective way, a farmer has to follow some steps, and those steps which is required to grow, to cultivate the crop, those are known as basic agriculture practices. So there are some steps involved. Let's see step one by one. The first you can see on the screen, that is preparation of soil. So first of all, we prepare our soil to so that the seeds can be sown properly in the soil. The next step, after preparing the soil, then we have to sow seeds inside the soil so that these can be changed into plants, and then they will convert into crop. When after sowing the seeds, then we have to add manure. We have to add fertilizer. Why? So that the crop, the seeds which they have to grow, they can get proper nutrients, and the nutrients will be provided by manure or fertilizer. Next step, that you can see irrigation. What is irrigation? Watering the plant. That what you call irrigation. As we require water, same way plants also require water. Next we have weeding. Sometimes what happens, weeding means what? That is unwanted plant, that is wild plant. Do we require unwanted plant with our crops? No, we don't want them, because these are toxic in nature as well. So we have to remove them. So removal of unwanted plant, that what you call as weeding. Harvesting. Harvesting, when the crop is prepared, it is grown fully, then we have to cut them to proceed further, and the cutting down the crops, that is we call harvesting. The crops which we are getting, then we have to remove the grains from the crop, from the stalks. And this process, as you can see the picture, this is a traditional method that we call what? Threshing. And after collecting the grain, we have to keep them safely. We have to store them safely so that we can use them for longer time in future. So these are some basic steps that a farmer has to follow just to cultivate or to get the crop in good yield. Now we will explain each and every term in detail one by one. So very first step what we are taking here, that is what? That is preparation of soil. What do you mean by preparation of soil? Preparation of soil is quite similar. Suppose if mama wants to make something for you, some food for you, some recipe for you, so mama has to prepare something. She has to arrange something, right? She will collect the different raw materials. She will you can say the different steps she has to follow, and then only she will start making the recipe. The same way, before sowing the seed, so that the crop should grow, you can say in good manner, so we have to prepare our soil so that the proper you can say nutrient we can get from soil. So let's see. As we know that if we do agriculturing, if you do, we can say a farmer, they require some tools also. So there are different tools. First we will discuss which is helping us in preparing the soil. So you can see the picture. The picture is a very simple tool, that is hoe. This hoe, it consists of a rod that is made up of wood or iron, and it is having a bent blade. Can you see over here? This is bent blade. It is so strong, and that's why it generally made of iron. And this is a tool as it is quite heavier, so this is pulled by animals. And why we are using this tool? We are using this tool so that we can prepare our soil, we can loose our soil, make it more soft, and also to remove unwanted plants, to remove weeds. So for that reason, we are using this tool. This is so helpful for farmers. Next, this is plow. Can you see over here? This is plow, which is driven by the, you can say, these bullocks. These bullocks helping to drive the plow. And why we are using the plow here? This is also used to make our soil soft, to loose the soil, to turn the soil. And this process is known as plowing, or you may also call as tilling. You may call this plowing, or you may call it as tilling. And what we are doing? We are doing it before sowing the seeds. We are preparing our soil so that seeds could germinate in better way. This is cultivator. Now because we are also using new techniques, new tools, so that the you can say farmer, they should not um, be tired so much. So to save their time, to save the labor, nowadays we are using cultivator also, and the same function is also done by this cultivator. That what is doing? Again, to turn the soil, to make the soil soft so that seeds can germinate properly. Now we are doing it, you can say plowing, or you can say tilling, by using different tools, hoe, um, cultivator, or you can say plow. So why we are doing so? Why we need to turn our soil? Why we have to make our soil soft? So plowing, that makes the soil loose, Plowing, it makes the soil loose, it makes the soil soft. In loose soil, why do we require soft soil? Why do we require loosened soil? So that the roots can penetrate easily. When seeds will convert into seedling and then to plant, the root will also start coming. And so that the roots, when they will go down in the soil, they will able to go easily down to get the nutrient and other things properly to give the other part of plant. It also promotes aeration and promotes growth of friendly microbes. Microbes, there are some microbes which are very useful for soil, which are also known as, you can say, friendly microbes, which are friends for farmers, so that they help to make soil more fertile. Aeration means so that there will be proper space available between the soil particles and the roots can get air easily to breathe. Next, loose soil promotes percolation of water. Percolation of water means what? So that if the soil particle will have enough space in between, it is helping to breathe easily for roots. Also, it will help so that the water can go down. Water can percolate down easily and to reach the, you can say, roots deeply. Plowing, it also helping to uproot or to remove unwanted plant that we call weeds, because the weeds are the wild, you can say, unwanted plants or the wild plants which are toxic in nature as well. And why we have to remove them? Because whatever the nutrients, whatever the hard work is done by the farmer, whatever the nutrients we have given to the soil, so that our crops can grow properly, so those nutrients are shared by these unwanted plants as well, and which we don't want. So we have to remove them. So plowing is also helping in the same. Plowing mix up the manures, or you can say organic matter, or the fertilizers what we use. Sometimes we may require to add fertilizer or manure before sowing the seeds to make the soil texture better. So that's why it also helps to mix up those manure so that nutrient can be mixed up properly within the soil. So that's why the plowing is very important step in cultivating the crop. Now our soil is prepared. We have done the preparation of soil. Now what is the next step? Sowing. Sowing means what? Sowing means what? That is the process of scattering of seeds in the field, when we have to scatter the seeds so that the seeds, they will go down in the soil, they will germinate, they will convert into crops. So when we do this process by hand, when we sow seeds by hand, manually when we do so, so that is known as broadcasting. That what do you call it as? Broadcasting. But when we do it with hand, when we are doing broadcasting, what is happening? So the seeds will not be grown uniformly or at the right depth. So what we have to do? So we have to take the help of some tools. And the tools what you have seen in this picture, funnel, which was used, you can say, earlier time, that is also a traditional tool, funnel like structure. So you can see in the picture, the two farmers, they have funnel like structure. They are they are placing the seeds inside it, and it is a funnel like structure. As they will go ahead, then what will happen? The seed will also start you can say start sowing in the soil, and they will mix up easily because the flow is also attached with that. But nowadays, as I told, there are modern tools farmers are using in their field so that they can save time, they can save labor. So that's why the tool which we are using here, which is modern tool, that is seed drill. Seed drill is more, you can say, efficient as compared to broadcasting and even funnel also. Why so? Because seed drill sows the seeds at proper depth, at proper distances as well. That's why seed drill is so much useful as it is modern tool. So seed drill, why we have to prefer seed drill over traditional method or broadcasting? So the seed drill sows the seed at uniform distance and depth. The seeds, they are sown at uniform distances and at uniform depth also. And this seed drill machine helps to cover the seed properly by soil. If they are not covered properly by soil, what will happen? It may happen that birds may come and to eat the, you can say they can eat the seeds. So how if they will be eaten by you can say bird, so how the crop will be grown? How they will convert into seedling, seeds and all. And as we have discussed earlier, it saves time and labor as well. So this is how we can say seed drill is more efficient tool as we compared with traditional tool or broadcasting. Okay, now we have shown the seeds as well. Now what next? The next is, now we have to add manure and fertilizer. So manure and fertilizer, they are, you can say they are the substances that is helping the soil to get nutrients. But both the thing, they are different from each other, which we have read earlier as well. So manure is what? That is made up of organic substances, the waste, kitchen waste, animal waste and all. On the other hand, fertilizers, they are made up of inorganic substances. They are toxic in nature sometimes. They are chemicals actually. Manure, which may be prepared at home as well. And because we are preparing at home from the kitchen waste, from animal waste and all, that's why they are not costly. Even you can say they are free of cost because they are prepared from waste. Fertilizers, they are prepared at factories. More of labor is required, more of chemicals required, more of materials required to make fertilizers. But manure, that is not very rich in nutrients, but helping to add humus that helps to increase soil fertility. But if we talk about the nutrient, the specific nutrient, if our soil is deficient in a particular nutrient, then what we have to do? Then we need to take help from fertilizer. We have to give fertilizer. And as manure, they are made up of organic substances, so obviously they will not harm the soil. But fertilizers, they may be toxic in nature. That's why we should not use them in excessive amount. And if we are using an excessive amount, it may harm, it changes the soil structure, it may harm the soil as well. So that's why, yes, sometimes we require to add the fertilizer, but we should not use much in quantity. That we have to take care. Now, as we have seen, even manures, they are not very rich in nutrient, but still we should prefer manure. Why so? Why? What are the benefits of using manure? What are the, you can say, why we have to use manure? So there are the reasons why we should use manure. That is, it helps to enhance the water holding capacity of the soil. Means if we are giving water to the soil, so soil should have capacity to hold water, to utilize the water completely. Not only this, it improves the texture of soil. It helps the microbes to grow, which are friends of farmer. which are helping to make soil fertile. As you can see over here, red worms, which is involved in vermicomposting. We have learned it earlier. And because they are not harming crop, they are made up of organic waste. That's why they are adding more humus to the soil and to helping to increase the soil fertility, right? That's why we should prefer manure over fertilizers. Okay, now sometimes it happens either we are using you can say manures or fertilizers and all, but uh, we have to go for different you can say technique also, for different steps also, so that the soil the soil which has lost the nutrient because of continuous growing of crops, so how to get back, how we can get back the soil nutrients, how can we do so? So there are the different you can say steps, different techniques, different ways to get it back. Multiple cropping means sometime we may grow more than one type of crop in the field. Like we can see here any crop like wheat crop, and they are grown you can say with leguminous plant, that we can say that is what called multiple cropping. Multiple cropping means what? That is requiring, that is involving different crops. That is what multiple cropping. Then we have next is crop rotation. Crop rotation, this is a method of growing different crops in alternative manner on the same tree. Now, one time we may grow like wheat, rice, something like that. And next year, in next season, we may grow leguminous plant. That will help to give new nitrogen back to the soil. Even we have we have learned also rhizome bacteria, how it is helping to fix atmosphere nitrogen and is providing to the plants, to the soil, so that nitrogen should be maintained in the soil for better growth of the crop. And one method we have only by adding manure or fertilizer. The fertilizer, like we have specific fertilizer also. Means like you may have heard the name of very common fertilizers. You can say NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Right? We have potash, urea, okay, etc., etc. So we have heard different fertilizers which are very famous also, which are very useful also, but still it is advisable that we should not use fertilizer in excessive amount, because it may harm the crop, it may create pollution, soil pollution, even water pollution also. So that's why we should avoid using excessive we should not use excessively fertilizers in our fields. Now, irrigation. Do we require water? Human beings require water? Yes, we do. So the same way, plants also, they are living things, they also require supply of water, which should be done at regular intervals. That what you call irrigation. Now, irrigation is also very, very important step which we have to uh, which we have we we have to take care of doing so. Like, excessive water should not be given to the crop, and obviously less amount of water is also not good for crop. And the irrigation, it is not same for all the crops. It is not done you can say in the same way in different seasons. Different crop, different season, different texture of soil demands different amount of water to irrigate the field, to irrigate the crops. Like if we give example, rice, paddy crop, that require more of irrigation, that require more of water, standing water is required actually. But wheat, it doesn't need that much water which we use in case of rice. So that's why we are saying that it depends on crops, the type of crop, the type of soil, seasons, that how much water need to supply to crops, and that should be done at regular interval. Now we can see these are some methods which is uh, not done now, obviously, which we are not doing it now, but they have been done in earlier time. So like the name, you can say pulley system, that is mode, that is how they have made you can say narrow kind you can say structure in the soil, in the in the ground, so that the water can reach to the crops. And we have Rahat lever system. The name is cool, na? Rahat. So that is also, you can see that how the bullock is driving this, you can say wooden that stick, and so that the water, you can see over here, the buckets are attached over there, right? And this is how the water is supplying. The water is that to be supplied to the crops. Then chain pump, there's a kind of pump also. That's a different structure, means quite similar one, not different one. So that is also chain pump. And you can say dekli, that is a manually a farmer is doing by taking the water from a well. So these are the some method which is used by human in early time, but now as we our farmers also are also, they are so modern and they are using the modern techniques. So these are the modern methods of irrigation. The modern method now, generally, as I told you few days back, I visited a village. So there I have seen the more, you can say the most useful tool of irrigation, or the to irrigate the crop, that is tube wells. Actually, they have a pump, a heavy pump which draws water from the ground, and the structure that we call as tube well. That is a very, means very common. Many of you must have seen also. But we have, as we are in modern now India, that is, we are using the modern methods of irrigation as well. So first is system, sprinkle system, that we have seen in urban areas also. We have seen in Delhi as well, na? So how they are used to, you can say irrigate grass in lawns, and you can say the parks and all. We have seen that. So they are just having a fountain like structure they have, and water is pressurized through the main pipe. The one main pipe is there, and they have they are supplying water in this kind of rotating nozzle, and there the water is coming out like a rain, right? We sometimes enjoy to come under this kind of sprinkle system. Okay, the next one we have drip system. Drip system is more efficient. We should prefer drip system over sprinkle one, because somewhere sprinkle system बहुत ज्यादा नहीं, but हाँ थोड़ा सा it is wasting water. And if you see the drip system, it is more useful, especially when the people they face you can say problem, they are struggling to get drinking water, right? We have seen how badly the people are struggling to get drinking water. So that is you can say best technique to water the plants, to irrigate the crops and all. Why so? Because it helps to conserve water, to save our water. How? I can see the arrangement is such like that there are, it is connected by network of pipe. There are so much pipe, so many pipes are required in that, and at the base of each plant, at the base of each plant, water is supplied drop by drop directly to the root, you can say root, so that extra water will not go, will not be wasted. So that is more efficient, especially where we, the places where we have shortage of water, we have to go for this method. And even if we don't want to irrigate, I always say we have to save water, we have to save electricity, we have to save energy. After all, it is our mother earth, we have to, this is our moral responsibility, right? Now, the weeding which we are getting this word from the beginning. Now, weeding is what? as we have discussed, the weeds. What is weed? Weed is unwanted plant which are toxic, which may harm the plant. Not only harming, but yeah, they are sharing the nutrient, they are sharing the sunlight, they are sharing the space which should be given only to our crops. So those plants which we don't require, they are not good for crops, they need to be removed. And weeding is the process of removing such unwanted plants from the crop field. And for doing so, there are so many methods out there, like we have done. Plow is also, hoe is also there to somehow it is helping to remove the weeds, that in the beginning only. And seeder also is useful to remove weeds, to remove unwanted plants. Khurpi, this is khurpi which is done manually with hand. So that is also manually the farmer used to do that. And and there are some, you can say, substances also which are sprayed to the crop field so that they will kill weeds only, they will not harm our crops. So such substances which we are doing, in which we are using the chemicals which are sprayed, that you can see the example is 2,4-D. The example of vedicide. This is vedicide actually. This vedicide, which is a substance, which is a chemical which is sprayed to the crop to kill the weeds, not to harm the crops. So these are some techniques how to remove unwanted plant. Now, as it is needed to remove weeds, unwanted plant, the same way uh, we should protect our crop, our food grains from pests. What are the pests? Pests are those organisms like rats, other insects, which may attack our crop, which may harm our crop. So that pest control, we have heard this name, we used to do in our houses also sometime, right? So that is done by chemical. The pesticides are those chemicals which are used to kill these kind of insects or such kind of, you can say, organism which may harm our crop. The pest control is very, very important. Now our crop is ready. Farmers have done a great job. They have uh, followed the techniques, different techniques um, to grow, to cultivate the crop in, you can say, in beautiful way. So now the next step, when the crop is ready, they are mature now. So the process of cutting down mature crop, that is known as harvesting. This is done by sickle also manually, which people they used to do it even nowadays. And as again we told, we are in modern India, so new tools have come to save labor, so to save time also. So harvester is such a machine which is also helping the same. Removal of grains from stalk is termed as threshing. Now we have cut down the plants, we have cut down the crops, that is harvesting. After harvesting, what? Now, when we get these stalks, as you can see in the first picture, so very first method, that is manually. Manually, you can do it how? We have to take some stalks in hand. We have to make a bundle. We have to hold it, and we have to beat them hardly against the hard object, hard surface. So in this way, then what we can do, that what we can do, uh, we it will help to remove the grains, to bring out the grains from stalk, and the grains will be collected over there, right? Threshing is done by, you can say, this machine also. This is a simple machine which is done, they're putting the stalks in there, and that will help to take out the grains after harvesting. And there's a combined thresher also. The combined thresher, what we means what we have, that is helping for what? That is helping for both the things. They're helping in sometime harvesting also and threshing also. So both the things can be done again to save time. So the farmers are smart. Now winnowing what happened when we are taking out the grain from stalk. So sometime what happened, some of the stalk, some of such covering of the grain, they also get mixed up with the grains, right? So we have to remove them because we can't eat the stalks, such covering, because we are not cows, we are not buffaloes, so we can't do that. So what we have to do, we have to remove chaff from grains, and again this is done either by manually or with the help of machine. So manually, this is winnowing. This lady is standing on some height, wind is blowing here, and is carrying some grains in which chaff is mixed up. And what she is doing, she is just moving that what do you just what do you call that, is a kind of plate she is doing. And what will happen, grains being heavier, grains being heavier, what will happen, they will be dropped down vertically, and the shaft, because they are very light in you can say weight, so they will be falling at some distance. So this is how she is helping it uh, to separate chaff from grain. And on the other hand, if you see this you can say machine, that is also done by machines. We have winnowing machine also, which is doing the same thing. Obviously that will be more efficient, because manually if we do, and if we do with the help of machine, so that is done more efficiently. Storage, now everything happened, we have got grains. Now after getting grains on large scale in large amount, now the question comes how to store them safely so that they can be used, these grains can be used for longer period in future. So what we have to do, if we have small you can say skill storage, not much, so we can use, you can say jute bags, we use it. These are small kind of containers we have. On large scale, if we have, so we have granaries, we have silos, so that they can be stored properly. And when we store them properly, when we store the grains, so we have to just take some precautions. If we will not take precaution, what will happen? Obviously, they will be damaged. So what precaution? As we have read earlier, pest control. We have to use pesticides, right? We have to use chemicals. So the we have to use, so that such organisms like rats, like insect, they should not attack our food grains, otherwise they will damage the whole grain, right? And they should not be moisture. I mean, these grains should not have moisture. So before storing in silos or granaries or small jute bags, they should be dried properly in sun, under the sun. They should be free of moisture completely. Otherwise, you can say germs or insects will start coming out. So need of say, why we have to require this, why we have to take care of stored grain as well, so that we can get food, we can have you can say availability of seasonal food throughout the year. Means like seasonal food means some food we only get in some seasons, but we can have it the whole year without any problem. So they should be control, they need to be stored properly. Distribution of food material to avoid to deal with the situation of emergency, or the people should not you can say have problem to get the grains, to get food material in case of emergency. That's why the distribution of food can be used in case of emergency or for longer period as well. And to protect the food material, to protect, because the farmers, they have done a lot of hard work even after using the modern tools. So it's required to protect the food, even there is, if there is no shortage of food, still this is very very much required to store food for longer time, to protect it, right? This is, this is a hard work, and that we have to respect. We should not throw food. Sometimes it happen na, we have some party, or means some kind of small functions at home, or in you can say big party, so food is left. So we have to take initiative to give food to needy people, because we have seen, if we are hungry, how painful it is. So there are so many people who are needy, who need food, who are struggling even to get food for 2 times. So better we are throwing it, उसको फेंको नहीं, उसको उसको आपको वेस्ट नहीं करना, उसको फेंकना नहीं है, आपको क्या करना है, you have to give to needy people, so that which is not useful for you, but it is blessing for other people, for needy people. So always believe in donating. That will also help you to maintain moral values, humanity, and I am sure you will do it. Okay. Now we have the next one, that is animal husbandry. Now animal husbandry is what? As in the beginning we just told, agriculture is not only taking care of plants, but that is also when we are getting food, useful product from animals as well. So that is also a kind of agriculture. So animal husbandry is what? That is a process. That is a process when we are rearing our animals or improving their, you can say, that livestock at large scale. Like suppose you can see in the picture, you must have visited the people, they take care of, they are taking care of cows, buffaloes, for milk products, and that is business also for selling purpose, not only for home, for selling purpose also, to earn money as well. And you can say poultry, you can see that, hen, non-veg, chicken, that we use it, we people use it, that also is useful. Even rearing of honeybees to get honey, and there are a number of example of such, you can say, process also, of such kind of rearing of animals as well. So this is what, not only plants but animal also helping us to provide some useful product. So this is what your chapter is all about. I hope you understood the topic. Thank you so much, everyone. So, but don't forget, before leaving, subscribe my channel, like it, view it, learn, and share with others also. So thank you so much, everyone, and we'll meet you soon, see you soon in next video. Bye, take care, be safe.